The dust has settled from a season of pure, unadulterated magic. Bayer Leverkusen, against all odds, rewrote the history books, shattering decades of Bayern Munich dominance and proving that football's most romantic fairy tales can still come true. At the very heart of that dream, pulling the strings, weaving spells, and creating moments of impossible brilliance, was Florian Wirtz, the golden boy, the architect of an unbeaten empire. For months, the football world has known he's a generational talent, destined for the very top. But what if the quiet assurances from Leverkusen are a smokescreen? What if the true story of his future involves a staggering £150 million battle, a secret pre-agreement with a Premier League giant, and a shocking twist that Bayern Munich, their bitter rivals, never, ever saw coming? Stamford Blues News has delved deep, uncovering the truth behind the Golden Boy's destiny, the hidden handshake, and the transfer bombshell that will define the summer. For all of Leverkusen's unprecedented success, the underlying fear has always been the inevitable, the dismantling of their historic squad, starting with their brightest star. Wirtz, still incredibly young but playing with the maturity of a seasoned veteran, has become the most coveted attacking midfielder in world football. Every elite club from Madrid to Manchester, from Paris to London, has quietly been laying the groundwork, preparing their bids, hoping to capture the essence of Leverkusen's magic. But while the public narrative portrays a frantic, open bidding war, Stamford Blues News has uncovered a far more intricate, deeply secretive transfer strategy. This isn't just about who can pay the most, it's about a clandestine operation, a pre-existing understanding, and a calculated move that has been years in the making. Let's pull back the curtain on this intricate plot. Wirtz, a prodigy from a young age, signed what appeared to be a long-term, ironclad contract with Leverkusen, committing his future amidst their rising trajectory. But in the ruthless world of modern football, even the most robust contracts can contain subtle mechanisms, hidden escape routes, or, in this case, highly confidential agreements forged between key figures. Sources incredibly close to the Wirtz camp, speaking under the strictest anonymity, have revealed the existence of a profound, unwritten, yet undeniably binding pre-agreement that dictates his eventual destination. This isn't a legally enforceable clause in the traditional sense, but a powerful, mutual understanding, a gentleman's handshake between the players' representatives and a specific Premier League giant that predates Leverkusen's historic triumph. The agreement, as revealed exclusively to Stamford Blues News, was forged during a period when Leverkusen, while promising, hadn't yet reached their pinnacle. It was a commitment based on trust, on a shared vision for Wirtz's development, and on the promise of a future challenge at the very highest level of English football. The conditions were clear: should Wirtz continue his meteoric rise, should Leverkusen reach a certain level of success, which they have spectacularly surpassed, and should the Premier League club demonstrate unwavering commitment, then when the time was right, that club would have the absolute first refusal, a preferential pathway, to secure his signature. This deep-seated understanding means the perceived £150 million open bidding war is largely a facade. The real battle for Wirtz's signature has already been fought and won, long before the public even knew it existed. And here's the groundbreaking twist, the ultimate bombshell that will leave the footballing world absolutely stunned, particularly in Munich. While every media outlet, every pundit, every rival club has been fixated on the likes of Real Madrid, Manchester City, and even Arsenal as the primary suitors for Wirtz, the Premier League giant with this secret pre-agreement, the club that has quietly positioned itself to trigger the £150 million move, is none other than Liverpool. Yes, you heard that correctly. Liverpool. Now, before you scramble for explanations, before you cite their recent managerial change or their current squad composition, consider the unparalleled foresight and meticulous planning of Liverpool's new footballing structure. With the departure of a legendary manager, the club underwent a profound strategic overhaul, not just in the dugout, but in their entire recruitment philosophy. They identified Wirtz not just as a future star, but as the perfect fit for the evolving, high-intensity, yet creatively fluid system that their new management aims to implement. Their long-term analytical models, their deep-seated connections within the German football pipeline, and their unwavering belief in Wirtz's ability to thrive in the Premier League, all converged on this singular target. The £150 million figure, often floated as a mere speculative valuation, is a very real, very concrete sum that Liverpool is prepared to invest, and potentially exceed, to secure Wirtz's services. This isn't merely a transfer fee, it's a statement, a declaration of intent, a financial commitment designed to leave absolutely no room for doubt or counteroffers. They believe he is the missing link, the creative genius who can redefine their midfield and attack, providing the intricate passing, the devastating runs from deep, and the clinical finishing that will propel them back to the very pinnacle of English and European football. This move represents a daring, calculated gamble to rebuild and re-establish their dominance in a fiercely competitive league. The impact of this revelation on Bayern Munich will be nothing short of devastating. For years, Bayern has operated with a sense of entitlement in the Bundesliga transfer market, habitually poaching the best talent from their rivals. They fully expected to be at the front of the queue for Wirtz, perhaps even believing they had a divine right to acquire him. The idea that their bitter rivals, Leverkusen, had orchestrated a secret pathway for their most prized asset directly to a Premier League powerhouse, bypassing Bayern entirely, would be a monumental blow to their prestige, their strategic planning, and their entire transfer philosophy. It would send a clear, humiliating message: even Bayern, the undisputed hegemon of German football, can be outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and ultimately denied their rightful target by the cunning of a Premier League giant. Their carefully constructed image of invincibility in the transfer market would shatter. For Liverpool, the acquisition of Florian Wirtz would be a seismic event, a genuine game-changer. Imagine a midfield featuring Wirtz alongside the relentless energy of their current stars, providing the intricate passing, the dazzling dribbling, and the incisive through balls that unlock the most stubborn defenses. His versatility, his ability to play as a number 10, a deeper-lying playmaker, or even a wide forward, would offer their new manager unparalleled tactical flexibility. He would be the creative hub, the orchestrator of their attacking symphony, turning promising spells of possession into devastating goal-scoring opportunities. He is the kind of transformative talent that defines an era, a player capable of becoming the face of the club for the next decade. This isn't merely a transfer, it's a strategic coup, a declaration of intent from Liverpool, signaling their ambition to rebuild and dominate. They have not just identified a generational talent, they have, through years of groundwork and a secret agreement, positioned themselves perfectly to snatch him from under the noses of Europe's elite, including their fiercest German rivals. The negotiations, shrouded in absolute secrecy, are now moving towards their inevitable conclusion. Leverkusen, bound by the unwritten agreement and recognizing Wirtz's clear desire, will be compelled to negotiate, despite their public denials. The next few weeks will be critical. As the Club World Cup continues, as international tournaments wind down, and as the summer transfer window reaches its fever pitch, the pressure on Leverkusen to formalize Wirtz's departure will intensify. The public may still believe there's an open bidding war, but the truth, known only to a select few, is that Wirtz's destination has largely been decided. Liverpool, with their £150 million war chest primed and ready, is poised to complete one of the most audacious and strategically significant transfers of the summer. The world waits, breathless, to see if the Golden Boy, the architect of Leverkusen's magic, will indeed make the move to Anfield, fundamentally reshaping the Premier League landscape and leaving Bayern Munich reeling from the twist they never saw coming. This is the moment of truth for Florian Wirtz, for Bayer Leverkusen, and for Liverpool's bold new era. What do you think? Can Liverpool really pull off this incredible move, despite the noise from other clubs? How would Florian Wirtz transform the Premier League if he lands at Anfield? And what does this mean for Bayern Munich's dominance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video if you're as stunned as we are, subscribe to Stamford Blues News for more exclusive football bombshells, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the beautiful game's most shocking secrets. The truth, as always, is far more compelling than the headlines.